Bonjour class! Today we are just going to take a look at the Reprise pretest that you took. So here before you on the screen is the exact test you took. It's just on a Google Doc instead of a Google form because it'll be easier for me to go through like this. So you are taking an actual version of this week. Whenever you are watching this week it's happening. It'll happen in your next batch of assignments. It is for a grade. It's a 100-point grade, so biggest grade you've had by far. And you're gonna do fine. You're gonna be okay. So let's just go through looking at the format so you can kind of get an idea of how the other one will be too, give you a better idea of how much and what exactly to study. So the first section is numbers. 14, that's just, you just have to know that one. 573. Okay, so for these larger numbers, don't get intimidated by how long they are. You just need to sit down and break them down. So 5, you know, means 5. 100 is 100, so 500, the first digit will be a 5. And then 60, we know that means 60. 13, we know means 13, so 73, 73. 60, 13, 73. So 573. And then 99, 80, we know is 80, 4 20s, 80. And then 19, 10, 9, or 19. So we've got 80, 19, 99. And your actual one will be similar. You'll have maybe one smaller number and then two larger compound numbers like this that you'll have to puzzle your way through. Then time. You all have been doing really well on time so far, what I've seen in your practice. I think you all feel pretty good about this, but it'll be exactly like this. The big thing that you're gonna need to remember and be careful about is the moins, means minus. So il est 7 heures moins 5. 7 o'clock minus 5 means that it's 6:55. That's really all you need to be careful about. You all have done pretty well with the rest of that. Next, write the word which comes next in the sequence. This is just knowing your days of the week, months of the year. You just have to memorize those. Luckily, the Quizlet should help with that. The Sporkles should help with that. And it'll be the same. It'll just be a separate section, a different section of like either the months or the years than it was in your first initial pretest. You all have mostly done well with dates as well. Just remember, le number month. If you remember nothing else, le number month. And then weather expressions. It is raining, it is cold. Remember, it's raining and it's snowing are just two words. Il pleut, it's raining. Il neige, it's snowing. All the rest of these start with il fait. That's all in the Quizlet too. But it'll be same. It'll be two dates to write in French and then two weather expressions. And I think it's pretty good a guess that if it's raining is here, then it's snowing will be on the one you actually take. Next, these, unfortunately, you just have to memorize. You just have to know what all of these are. That the Quizlet will help with that. And then using the indefinite article, so using un, or des. This next section is probably the hardest on the entire test, but I think after studying, you all remember this a little bit better. So you just have to look at the sentence. In the Google Forms, they're capitalized, not underlined. So j'ai une jupe. So the indefinite article, we have to use the indefinite article for the rest of these. So you just look at the word that's after the blank and determine its gender and number to figure out which version of this you use. So chemise, une chemise is feminine, but it's plural. So the plural indefinite article is des. And then here, cravate, also plural, but there's a ne pas around the verb, and in a negative sentence, un, une, and des become de, or the apostrophe, de cravate. Okay? And then same thing with la, the definite article. Same thing with set. It's just knowing those charts, those like singular, plural, masculine, feminine charts and knowing what to plug in there. And then similarly with the O and de, you just need to remember that A plus le equals O and A plus le equals AUX. And if it's a feminine thing, then it would be A, la. So for example here, O, means A plus le. So I'm speaking to the teacher. She is speaking, and then we want to say to the students. So A, the students. Students is plural, so it'll be A plus le, which means O. Right? And then similar process for de. I have 2 slides about that in one of the Reprise videos. This one is just possessive adjectives. You need to use the possessive adjective that matches the subject here. So she arrives with her cousin. Cousin is masculine, so we use the masculine singular version, son, etc. Just make sure the one you choose matches the subject pronoun. Then these right here, these are just conjugating regular verbs until we get to être and avoir. These I forgot to go over in the slides, so I'll take a second right now to show them to you. Hopefully you really drilled these during French 1, so even if you don't have them completely memorized right now, seeing them will help you get back. You do need to have these 100% memorized. They're irregular, there's no real pattern. So être means to be. Je suis, tu es, il, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils, elles sont. Okay, to be, I am, you are, he or she is, we are, y'all are, they are, etc. And then avoir is to have. J'ai, tu as, il, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils, elles ont. Okay, I have, you have, he or she has, we have, y'all have, they have. Yeah, these you just need to memorize. These are also in the Quizlet. And same as right here, there will be just 2 of these questions on the Reprise test. Then questions, I was pleasantly surprised with how well you all remember how to form questions. And don't worry, on your Reprise test, I do give partial credit. So it may tell you got something completely wrong, but when I actually grade it, I won't be taking off all of the points if you just missed one little question. So do your best, like get as many words on there as you can, even if you can't remember like the verb to live. Let us pause a moment.
Please pardon this interruption. They are working on the fire alarm system. If the alarm goes off, please disregard. Thank you.
Great. That'll be great for our video if that happens. I'll try to go quickly so it doesn't. So if you don't remember the verb live, for instance, but you can remember where, so you could get où est-ce que tu, and then just leave off the verb, which would be habite. And you'll get quite a bit of credit for that. Next, things you do and do not like to do, use the infinitive construction. Here, any infinitive, any verb in the infinitive form, manger, chanter, danser, any of them, it doesn't matter. Just pick 2. This will also be on the Reprise, so as long as you can remember 2 infinitives, you should be fine. Hint, if you go back and look, there's some up here. Jouer, manger. This wouldn't make sense, but it would be technically grammatically correct. This was on here. And then the imperative case. So we went over this in the Rappel video, in one of them. The last one, Rappel 3, the one you just watched. So just present tense form of the verb. These are both for tu, because you're talking to one person. The only thing to remember here is that for ER verbs, in the imperative, you drop the S. So you just conjugate it normally for other verbs. So fini, it's just the conjugation for tu. Finish exercising, finish the exercise. And then for parler, it would normally be parle with an S, but for some reason, ER verbs drop the S in the imperative. And that's it. Your actual version of this is going to look very similar. It's going to be the same number of questions, it's going to be the same kinds of questions, so you just need to use some logic to try and figure out what things will be on there. like it's safe to bet there'll be some objects, some furniture, some clothes on there. This section will be different sentences, but the same concepts. Same concepts. Same. It will all be the same concepts, just slightly different questions. You've got all your Quizlets to study, you've got those sporkles, you've got those Rappel worksheets. I'm giving you feedback on those, so be checking those. They're not graded, they're just so you can practice and I can see how your practice is going, so I can check that you kind of understand what's going on and that you're going to be able to do well on this. If you have any questions, send me an email or a comment on Google Classroom, either one of those. I will get back to you. As I've said, I have no in-person students, so I'm pretty quick to respond to you all. And with that, a bientôt. I will see you the next time I have to film a video, or you will see me, I suppose. That's it.